Why is Gwent so fun again? Do you know, like, what is going on? It's so good. Hello, friends. It's Lionheart here, and I'm back with even more Gwent. Now, as you know, it is a new month, which means there's been a bunch of changes, but no, don't worry. This is not a Lionheart talks through how much he hates the Balance Council video. I promise. I'll try, okay? I'll try. This is a how do you handle Nilfgaard video. In the most recent set of changes, it looks like Nilfgaard has had a bit of a boost, and while a lot of those cards are assimilate adjacent at very least, it does mean that there's a bit more Nilfgaard kicking around than perhaps you're used to. And I decided, I'm pretty sure Nilfgaard has at least been great at some point, because that's how you make Nilfgaard great again, right? So, I decided to look back over all of the different ways that Assimilate Nilfgaard and its various different versions have been beaten over the years. And I kept coming back to one thing: Bounty. Bounty is a Syndicate archetype that utilizes coins. You place a bounty on an opposing unit. If you then destroy the unit, the base power comes back to you in coins again. It's a really fun little cycle. But those cards, and Syndicate in general, isn't ideal for something like Assimilate because of the coin mechanic. Additional kind of strategies that you need to use and additional synergies you need, which while Assimilate absolutely can do and can use, it does make it a little bit harder for it to do so. And Bounty is obviously very removal heavy as well, which can help if you're facing engine heavy decks, but because of some of the reworks and new cards that came in, there's a lot of witch hunters around that can give you those really big point slams later in the game as well. Here is the deck list that I decided on eventually. Now, there are a couple of omissions that you're probably thinking, why are they not there? Kurt being one of the most obvious. He is a great card, decent body, if I do say so myself, 6 power, and he either gives a bounty or is a very welcome purify. I don't know where you fit him. One of the things that you need and is really crucial, one of the things I love about this deck is its consistency. We are running a Neuromancy, that is one of your tutors. We're running Octavia Hale because she allows you to mulligan far more aggressively early on. You can kick the Brute very happily, you can kick Ignatius Hale because you want those for your round 3. Both of them early on need time and transitioned bounties to become valuable. So having her guarantees you've got a much better chance of finding 2 of the 3 of her children, the Scoundrel being the other, which makes life easier. Of course, we're also running both of the double thinning cards as well. That's the Casino Bouncers and the Sewer Raiders. We have a lot of consistency in this list, which is great, but it also means we are kind of tight on the provision side. I can't see us cutting any of the cards up to Ignatius Hale on this list. Now, the 2 big cards that make a basically play them right, you win the game. It's Philippa Eilhart and Graydon. Now, Philippa, unconditional 21 for 9. I will take no further questions, and if you don't know, you know, I don't know what to say. Philippa in a bounty list might seem weird, because typically in Bounty, you're using the bounty mechanic to constantly cycle additional new coins. Philippa doesn't do that. Philippa uses all of the coins to steal a unit and double the value effectively of your spend. It's one of the most efficient ways to spend coins in Gwent. Things like obviously the Conjurer's Candle and stuff continue to do a great job there too, which is in the list. But it's a really great finisher, but it also threatens reach, removes engines. Like, there's so much Maddock around right now for whatever reason that honestly it's such an amazing tool to have available that I couldn't say no to it. Now, you might decide, look, I don't want Philippa, you've got enough bounties, Caleb Menga can go, and we're going to run a couple more, like, I'm going to run a Marilsi, you know the drill, tell me how I'm supposed to say it, and a Kurt maybe, and, you know, upgrade to a Purge or something. Maybe that will work for you. I liked having the extra reach that Philippa provides, I'm going to be honest, which was great, and the Graydon, well, I mean, he makes sense, right? He's a fantastic card that really helps you against immune units, stuff stuck behind defenders. You can use things like the Witchfinder to place a bounty on the tallest unit if it's something out of reach. Maybe it's an Ethne and Symbiosis, which seems to be around a decent amount too, incidentally. So maybe it's that. Maybe it's a Colgrim stuck behind a defender you can't deal with. Whatever it is. But Graydon doesn't need to target a unit to destroy it. It just needs the unit to have bounty, and it will destroy it. The fact that you can also spend 5 coins, if it's a high base power card, to boost him by that amount, can also feel really good. You're getting a lot of those coins back because, of course, bounty. It's a really nice list. So, we know it's bounty, but what's the game plan? How do you play with this list? Maybe it's your first time trying Syndicate. It can be a difficult faction because of coins, but this is roughly how I like to play this list. Always pay attention to your coin generation. And in round 1, it's important to try not to lose on even, but it's not always the most important to win the round. If it's a choice between overcommitting to win a round and getting out of the round in round 1, more often than not, just dropping your thinning cards, not committing too much and getting out of there, it actually can be okay. Which feels weird in modern Gwent. It's been one of those things that Syndicate has done quite a lot the more I think about it, because of the power that it can have in later rounds. Now, you're trying to build up the value of your bounties. Bounty is a constantly cycling sort of engine, I suppose. The more bounties you remove, the higher base power your Ignatius Hail will have when he finally hits the board. Do remember, though, of course, that that card continues to be up to its base power healing, even if it's on the board, so sometimes it can be okay to drop it down. But also the Brute as well. The amount he boosts himself and the number of coins he gives are also based on the cumulative bounties you have completed over the course of the game. So you're basically, over the course of the game, in your round 1 and 2, doing your best to make those as strong as you can for your round 3, or if you won round 1, you can all of a sudden slam some seriously high value with that as well. Now, your leader ability Blood Money starts out as 6 damage to a unit, but every bounty you complete, it adds 1. And if your leader is used and you complete a bounty, your leader comes back, but with just 1 damage. It can be a real swing. Quite regularly, I am bleeding into a round 2 if I've won round 1, and provided I've retained my leader, I can be a card down quite comfortably, because a 10, 11 damaging Blood Money is the equivalent of a decent card. Any over damage comes back to me as coins again, so it's another way of restarting that engine of, I have coins, I can recycle. The big point, as I mentioned, is when to use Graydon. Now, I built this list because I expected a lot of Nilfgaard, and while initially I found none, eventually it all started coming. I played a match against Enslave 6, and I dropped Graydon in round 1 onto the Kahir? No. Calvate. Onto the Calvate, got a nice big swing, got myself 7 boost for my Ignatius Hail's base power, and also the Brute's Boo. Feeling really good, won the round. But it was a massive commitment to win a round that actually I probably could have done elsewhere. I end up losing that round because I didn't have access to that specific tool later. I've played Enslave multiple times since then and have held the Graydon, held the Philippa, and it's been massively more valuable into the later stages if they're dropping down the big assimilate engines, some players even still running Hefty Helg, things like that. It's such a massive difference to be able to remove or even steal those cards. Now, the list's really fun, but the things it needs and that you need to focus on, I'll say it again, make sure your coin maintenance is good and make sure you have spenders. The reason for the one coerced blacksmith is just having a backup option. If I come up against some low unit thing and I've got nothing to aggressively attack, if I come up against traps or something, or Maddock bombs that doesn't seem to have found any dragons, that kind of situation where they can hold off, having something like a blacksmith just gives me that other option. Obviously Octavia Hale can spend as well, but only on witch hunters, and you have candle, etc. But the list's really consistent. It will take you a couple of games, so maybe watch me, watch what I do, listen to me jabber on as always, and see how you feel about it. I did also test a Golden Necker, more mid-rangey version of this bounty archetype here, and there it is. And actually I kind of love it too, but it's bounty-ish. It's kind of bounty poison hybrid. Played a few games with it, 1 or 3 games, 2 out of the 3 against Nilfgaard. I don't know if this is better or just different, but either way, definitely worth considering. And if you do want to see me make a video on this list instead, let me know in the comments down below. But I am going to send you over now to me narrating a specific video of me playing against Enslaved 6. This wasn't recorded on stream. The games after were, just to give you more experience watching me play it. I will also, in the description of this video, link the 2 YouTube live streams of me playing through with this deck. You'll see the different decisions we made as we went along, and it will give you more information. As always, it is a delight to get to make these videos for you, and if you're enjoying them, it would mean the world to me if you would click the subscribe button. But wait, because Lionheart has 2 YouTubes now. It's not just Lionheart cards, but it's normal Lionheart plays as well. Currently, live, I'm in the midst of a Kingdom Come Deliverance playthrough. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and the Pirate Yakuza game are coming up within the next 6 weeks. But on the YouTube channel, I'm still catching up. Mass Effect 1 playthrough is going up there. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth playthrough is going up there shortly as well. And Mass Effect 2 coming soon. So if you could drop that a follow, there's a link in the description. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. As always, friends, let's go. So, unlike a normal video that I've done before, I'm testing a few different things. I'm going to talk over parts of a game that I've previously played just to explain my thought processes. So I'm going to start firstly with the Mulligan screen. So here you can see I'm in my Mulligans and I'm against Enslaved 6. First thing I've done, make sure I don't have 2 of the same thinning engines. Now I've got 3 Mulligans available. I must be on blue coin. If I'm on blue coin, I have my stratagem. So things that I'm looking for there then, I'm willing to have both of my thinning engines in hand on blue coin. They're quite good for tempo and it's great for me in later rounds. I don't mind having sewer raiders on blue particularly because they need Horde 4. We're not a Horde list, but you can very easily get access to that many coins with your stratagem, so I don't typically mind it. That's one of the first things I'll get rid of. The next thing you're going to see me get rid of is, of course, the Brute and Ignatius Hale. Not because they're not great, they are, but they're useless early on, and I want to be able to play my cards in the early parts of rounds, right? So I also have access to them consistently because we thin well. You can see they're the cards I'm getting rid of here, and we have Octavia Hale, who is going to help us find them. Now, I've clicked that stratagem straight away. Don't necessarily need to do that always, but if I'm going to thin early, it's something I tend to do. So from what you've seen, especially on blue coin, I'm always looking for the thinning cards. But as a syndicate deck, you don't always need to win the opening round. You just need to not lose on even from blue, and you're in a pretty good spot. Most of the time, it's about generating those coins, and I'm trying to mulligan away things that I'm going to want later. So that's the Brute, that's Ignatius Hale. I usually quite like having access to Philippa at any given stage, as she's a really effective card to give me reach and be able to either steal a very valuable engine or something they're going to want later for carryover, a resilient unit, something like that is really useful. But in my opening hand, I'm looking to be able to thin well, and I'm looking to be able to generate resources. So that means having access to some bounties and some ways to process those bounties, whether it's the Scoundrel, the Witch Hunter Executioner, or the Freak Show. Typically, I want a good mix of those things in my opening hand. So if we skip ahead a little bit now, you can see that first thing I've done is I've thinned, and I have dropped the, those units on the board. I'm against Enslave 6. A lot of people seem to want to just jam Kahir. He is a really great bounty target in this matchup, particularly because A, you get a lot of coins for killing him because he's got a high base power, but additionally, he does really, really help out as well with growing the value of your Ignatius Hail. The one thing I would say, even on blue, I don't tend to like using Graydon on him. It's very tempting. I've tried this matchup quite a few times now. Graydon is much more valuable later. You would much rather get out of the round and defend a bleed having lost it than waste too many resources in the early round. On that, as I said earlier, it's all about transitioning those bounties, but there are different ways to do that, and coin generation to be able to do it is really, really important. So when you use Slander, it actually really matters. I've used one in this opening round here to place that in place of a Hysteria. It gives me access to the coins so that I can then continue to carry them over, but you've always got to watch out for which bounty you're going to use. If you use up all of your access to coins early, you can't get rid of the bounties later, with the exception, of course, of your leader ability that might pull you out of those problems. You can see the candle in my opening hand here. Almost always you want to play that in round 2 to go into round 3. It gives you a great option for defensive spending, as one of Bounty's problems is that you're always spending offensively, and against some opponents you just can't find the value, or if you don't have enough bounties, it doesn't feel as effective. So I would very rarely jam a candle in round 1 unless I was reasonably confident I was going for a 2-0. Just for that access. It's the reason there's a single blacksmith in the list as well. I just wanted another option for defensive spending, honestly. So here, they've dropped. They don't necessarily want to be in this round too much either. I'm willing to commit one of my witch hunters here so that we can transition that bounty. I am at 9 coins. Typically, I probably should have spent 1 more as well because you can only carry over half of the coins you have rounded down. So I could easily have dropped a bleed, for instance, here as well if I'd wanted to. But as I know my opponent intends to play 1 more card, maybe, and get out, as it stands, I've kind of just waited here. As I said, which bounty you use, it does matter. You're going to see now I choose to play the Scoundrel. And you might be thinking, well, opponent probably doesn't want to be here. Why are we not giving a Slander or possibly a Hysteria instead? Well, that kind of encourages my opponent to stay in the round. I would have loved to be able to drop something like a Blacksmith here if I'd got one in hand, or even better, more thinning with the Sewer Raiders, but it wasn't one of the options. I wanted to keep access to Horson's Freak Show so I could continue to deliver those bounties a little bit later. We've already mentioned Candle. Octavia Hail is for pulling out the Brute and also Ignatius Hail later. So, and obviously the Witchfinder as well. Absolutely not going to use that. Using the Scoundrel, again, it's a way of transitioning bounties and can be great to hit things, compared with the Witchfinder in certain situations behind a defender or if they're immune. So in some matchups, it's really important to save it for later. Less so in this particular matchup, and he can also interrupt strategy as well in some matchups because obviously he pulls a bronze unit from your opponent's deck. A lot of the time, bronze pieces can be really important. You can remove a specific engine that you're worried about, or, something like that. An Elven Seer, if you're concerned about orbs, carryover, that kind of stuff can be really, really helpful to disrupt. But in this hand, honestly, it was a good way of pushing my opponent out of the round, while also, and here, I get basically nothing, right? So I just bring a Magni Division. It makes it, they get less value. I'm always going to transition that bounty as well, and you can see I spend the 1 to give myself a bigger gap, and because my coins, which are behind me right now they're even, which makes sense. Opponent looking at the state of the board, doesn't really want to play here. They have already dropped the Kahir down, so they know they're playing into a perfect hand. Had they played here and not gone ahead, I would have passed anyway. So that's kind of how round one tends to go, especially into the Nilfgaard matchup. It does vary matchup by matchup, but a pretty successful round for us overall. 2 separate bounties completed, meaning that our leader ability, our leader ability is now stronger and can remove something else, bigger reach to get rid of something awkward, and also thinned successfully as well. You know, we didn't get a great deal out of the opponent, didn't lose on even, we're now in control. So not too bad. Now we're in round 2, and we have to consider, in almost all matchups, we're realistically bleeding. Remember that we can absolutely win out in a long round if we can stick our removal tools on the board, but we benefit for short rounds, even sometimes at the expense of losing a card. If you think Ignatius Hail typically should be hitting the board as an 18 base power unit, the Brute very regularly is worth at least 18 points over the course of a game between his boost and his profit. The Candle sticking on the board between rounds gives you the ability to spend with that as well. So if I have 3 cards, my opponent has 4, and mine are the Brute, Ignatius Hail, and Misk, we're winning out quite frequently. So again, we're looking to thin more. So we currently have Sewer Raiders, awkwardly only at 3 coins immediately, not 4, as the 6 halved. We are now looking and saying, okay, I've got a couple of ways of providing a bounty, and I have one way of progressing it with Horson's Freak Show. So I've got an Eromancy as well, which helps massively because I've got access in both rounds to one of the big tools that I'm going to need, whether that is a Graydon or it is a Philippa. One of the big things to worry about in this particular matchup typically is Vilgefortz. As I mentioned in that short round, it can be really, really great to have those big slams. It also does give them the ability to have quite a massive swing with that card. So if there is a way to maybe bait that out earlier, it can be quite beneficial for you. If they've used it into round 2 and you've got those options in round 3, the game's basically done. A little further in, and you can see that so far we have played just the 2 cards. I've dropped the Candle first, and then I've thinned. It's put me in a great situation. My opponent actually takes a bounty here for an Ignatius Hail, probably thinking it's going to grow. That's fine. We are still above the 7-card threshold, but yeah, being able to transition this guarantees us very big value as well. I'm happy to go deep into this round here, so it really isn't a problem. But as you can see, I was trying to highlight there the Brute's ability. The boost is based on the biggest unit that we give a bounty to. So that's always nice when your opponent plays into it. But through the course of this round here, we just progress further and further down as well. You know, you've got your Aneromancy. The Witchfinder is here to constantly give value. In this spot, I end up having to use, because Witchfinder hits the tallest, use the Graydon to remove and give myself a little bit of breathing room. But through the course of your second round, you're trying to bleed valuable cards if you won the round, or defend the bleed if not. Keep transitioning those bounties. Try to protect your removal tools. You'll notice that I'm using the Candle, for instance, to boost things that I think are valuable out of reach of being stolen from me in this matchup, or in others in removal as well. So that can be, they're the things that you need to be considering. So as you can see here, we've bled a little bit further down now, and I am behind and getting ready to leave this round. It's my opponent's turn, they're ahead. But I'm willing to stick in this round as long as I need to get the key pieces from my opponent. We have already received the leader ability. Fantastic. Really happy to see that come and go. We're waiting on the big pieces now. Things like Stefan. And as he comes out, you're going to be able to see him. He drops down, takes out my other bounty engine. We are very happy. Now, I might be going into the next round a card down. But honestly, as we mentioned before, that just doesn't matter here. Going into the final round, the big thing that matters is we have our leader ability with the removal of 10. It's basically a card in its own right. You can see as well that I have a couple of cards I'm going to replace with Octavia Hale. So you can mulligan quite aggressively. We have our Ignatius, we have our Brute here, and we can get rid of cards that we simply don't need. At this point, am I going to be able to transition any more bounties? Probably not, but I'm looking for as much coin generation and power as possible, which is why we keep Caleb. It may also get them to waste a little excessive removal. All of my excess coins are going to go on a fill-upper here for a massive swing. At this stage, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to let you watch the rest.
Time the north was cleansed. Watch yourselves, you'll never be safe. Don't snap your spout at me, I'm birds.
You do not deserve to live! I've no mercy for your kind.
Yes.
An interesting choice.
Soul's chaos. Evil around every corner. Be careful not to step in it.
Your name, young man, demands you be cursed into an urge.
I hate nothing more than a creaky door.
But it's always good fun to play Gwent, in my opinion. Right now, I've got the itch again, but I've also got to be careful not to just focus on Gwent, because otherwise, if I chat for an hour, then Gwent for an hour, I'll get to the point where I'm like, well, I haven't got that long to play Kingdom Come, so we'll just play more Gwent. Yeah, I know, right? Imagine this kind of craziness. Right. In the opening round, you typically don't want the Brute or Ignatius here. You'd hold one of them over Bricked Thinners, but other than that, typically I would choose to get rid of them. The exception to that is the Scoundrel, definitely. He's okay earlier, but yeah, you're reasonably content. Okay, Precision Strike throwing out a vial gives me no information at all. This could well be Precision Strike Dragons, it could be Renfrey, it could be Maddock, it could be one of about 4 billion things. A non-unit opener's really awkward for us. Play Civ. Oh, Carmen. I love the Civ games. I get it. Nikki is on the chopping block. I mean, Arya's basically finished everything there is to do right now, so she's doing like the little daily bits, but she's absolutely waiting for new content too, so there's a lot less Nikki for her. She's sad about it because she really loves the game, but I think, yeah, at the moment, she's gone through everything that there is available, and yeah, so she's just waiting for more to do, so I can understand that. I get it. Oh, goody, it's Maddock. So, this should be fun. I mean, I just steal it, right? Kill Philippa, mine, thanks. Almost, Kafka. Yeah, almost. If we, I mean, we do that and they just leave, right? I'm not going to get a lot of bounty value is my only worry here, but honestly, screw it. Cool. Thanks. Next. So turn 2, they don't have Maddock anymore. I'm all right with that. A little surprised to see a tactical advantage in this deck. Usually you'd want the extra points without needing to put it on a unit. So I'd go for like a lamp or something. And if it was engines, you'd prefer the Zeal. Or the Veil, sorry. Yeah. Again, another annoying card for a bounty deck, if I'm being honest. Let's... Okay, so if I bounty this and click, it's got 7 left. I've got 5, 6, 7 coins. Perfect. Okay, so dragons. I mean, Maddock is usually dragons, yeah. But Precision Strike is usually dragons. Or, like, mid-range dwarfs and Misk, right? But I think the dragon version's probably better. Probably. Well, that's fine. So we'll take this. Again, on the frustrating basis that they can constantly kill these things. It is what it is. Not being able to jam the sewer raiders here is annoying. I probably should have... We should be okay, though. We should be okay. Opponent working out what they want to do. Obviously, they're on blue coin. I'm not trying to lock them into this round by any means, but they're going to have to put some points on the... That doesn't surprise me. Okay, Caleb's less valuable here. He's just points on the board. I'm not overly worried about the fact that he gives a bounty, quite frankly. But that doesn't make any difference to me. Another bomb, yeah. So now I can do this and have actual points on the board. It's a really dangerous game they're playing right now. Okay. Now, there is an argument, right, that I should Hysteria that for 3 and hit it for 1 so that I'm ahead. And yeah. Like, I don't need to be aggressively locking them in the round, but I'm going to. They shouldn't try to protect this like crazy, but I think they will. It's a really difficult one against bounty. Do you try and buff it out of... What the balls is that? Chat, that's Ragnarok. Hey, Eric, good to see you. So. What if all the units were dead? I know, right? I can Graydon and boost it, but I'm like 5 for 6. I mean, it's probably still worth it, honestly, at this point, because I'm not going to get a lot of units here. If I Graydon right now, they go to 0. I am on 2 plus 9, so I'm on 11. I could also just take it slower, though. I don't need Graydon for the damage necessarily, and I'm gonna have nothing on the board. So let's see what they do. I'd like all of the value over here, but I'm not gonna... This is crazy. I mean, now with this leader the way it is, I have to give them nothing on board, right? But this is a lot. Because the thing is, right, this is 9 points, for argument's sake, plus I get the coins back. But assuming this is a unit, they already have 10 points on board. Am I trading Graydon here on the basis that that's a bomb? On the basis that this is a... I think I've got enough to feel comfortable doing this.
Knowledge is a weapon of great power.
If it's any unit, we're annoyed, right? They don't want to brick their leader here. Hey, base drop, I'm doing very well, thank you. Why is Gwent so fun again? Do you know, like, what is going on? It's so good. I think I needed a break. I very much needed a break from Gwent. Oh, that's a big grab. That's huge for us. If I got like a Marils here. Okay, so I have to, that's frustrating, but it's okay, right? It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad, but realistically, Maddock is gone completely for them. 2 of their dragons and 2 of the most potent of those dragons are gone as well. Oh. Okay. I think it was worth the trade to put us in the situation we're in. They should want the last say. Yeah, okay. So a Nero here. I'm probably just going to Nero the casino. No, I'm supposed to keep a Nero, right? Yeah, I'm just going to play this, because if I Nero out the casino bouncers, it puts me in a spot where there are 9 cards and I'm seeing 5 of 9, which means I'm very likely to find my stuff, but I'm not guaranteed. So I would much rather, with the bounty's not going to be it here, I don't think. Being able to be uninteractive with Conjurer's Candle, it's fine. We yoinked Maddock with Philippa, yeah. It was turn 2. It cost me leader, but it was so worth it. Okay. Okay, at the moment, Octavia Hale is going to bring me these 2 anyway. So the question is, if I do that, what am I not using? It's going to have to be these 2. And these 2 are going to do the work for me, effectively, which means I've already got the hand I'm looking for anyway. The only way... Yeah, I think this is fine, because I don't need a unit on board to use this. This is my turn 1 anyway. Yeah, okay. So we open with Candle. They haven't used Heat Wave yet, which means this could get Heat Waved, right? I would imagine this would run a Heat Wave. This, I mean, this could very much... I don't know, can it fit a lock at 6? We'll find out together this time on Dragon Ball Z.
I'll do so sword in hand.
I have to just Witchfinder here. Problem is 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. 5 coins, and spending here puts me on 3, 4. I can kill a 4. So PS version doesn't play Milver. Nope. I can kill a 4 here, so I think we're okay with that. We'll take that. Why the costume? Oh, do you mean the suit? It's not a costume, it's what I wear to work, bud. I finished a work call at 2:45, stream went live at 2:50. We always used to stream in a suit. Obviously, I was a Gwent caster, so I look like this a lot. And I used to stream deliberately in a suit. I just haven't always been able to in more recent times, but yeah. I think everyone looks better in a suit. That's just me. So this is going to do 4. This is going to kill this. Oh, wait. Actually, 2 damage plus 4 damage and a death blow. Boom! Let's go! Get wrecked. Okay, I think I'm supposed to... am I supposed to boost this by 1, 4, 5, 6, 7? Yeah, I think I now boost this by 1. All right. You just got home from work? Yeah, it's one of those things. But I'm very comfortable in a suit. If I'm feeling mentally low, because I work remotely, I still get I'll fully dress, because work me feels like work me because I'm in a suit. Does that make sense? I know it sounds weird, but it's just the way my brain is. Motown, lovely to see. Oh, I've been making mistakes here, chat. I've played cards I shouldn't have done. But I think that's fine. Yeah, we're okay here. Because obviously, I probably want Octavia into what's more right now.
Should help. Our codex commands it.
Oh. So I've got 2 damage on this, but no more. Is there anything that can help me with that? Actually, I don't have anything over 9 anyway, so it just doesn't matter, right? So I should play Octavia now, draw the Brute into hand, because then this will die between now and then, right? Octavia, in you come.
Don't spend it all in one.
Bring me the Brute. Confirm choice. That can go. We then click. Oh yeah, we probably do just win, but just in case, like. So 2 damage. I'll then kill this between the turns. Well, I mean, it's too late to play, because Synthesis and Villain Trettenmirth have been and gone. Okvist isn't going to tick over now, so it would be a weird choice. They've got a leader here. Damn. Okay, so that's really bad news for us. Right? Like, this now sucks. Because now I can't kill that. And this is going to kill this. Right? Because this is 12, so this is a 0 plus 6. Yeah. Oh, I should have used this. I think we're still fine. Like, they kill a 13, so I'm on 23. So what's, like... Yeah, that's fine. They need 19 points here, something like that. I didn't even pay attention that this had happened. Wow. Yeah, GG.